Hello, and welcome to 10 tips for being a successful postpartum doula. First of all, I want you to know that this is not rocket science. Yes, there's a lot to know, but you can do this. It's all within you. I know this for a fact. Before we begin, I really just wanted to share a little bit about myself so you know who this is giving you this seminar or this webinar so that you know what I'm about, who I am, and how I might be able to support you. Okay, well, here's me in my dancing mode in my happy place. I'm Betsy Schwartz, and I am the founder of Birth in the Know. And what do? Well, I help women like you who are really passionate about making a difference in this world, serving new families as they become parents. I focus on protecting the mother-baby couple. I'm a teacher and a guide, and I want you to fulfill your desires and live with purpose and create an income from what you're passionate about. When I first started in 1991, I had a young son. He was 2 years old, and I was a single mother. And I was searching for a meaningful, purposeful job that would be flexible. Now, I knew that mothering was not only intuitive, but it was the most important job in the world. And I had no idea how to earn a living with that. I found a job that paid me to take care of new mothers. How perfect is that? That was my intro to postpartum doulaing, and I started my own service in 1994. In the beginning, I took on every client. I thought it was my job to solve every problem, and I certainly didn't look like this. I was not happy all the time. I was available weekends, holidays, spur of the moment. I took a lot of things personally, and I was really heading for burnout. I had no boundaries. I learned about my local resources, and I was very willing and open to work with other people who knew more than I did. And that's how I was able to build a referral base. This is the win-win reciprocal relationship that brought me repeat customers. I was able to build a reputation quite quickly as a fair, honest, and trustworthy doula. And I am a fair, honest, and trustworthy person, for sure. I quickly learned that it was not my job to solve every problem, and this allowed me to take on clients that I really wanted, as long as I knew my resources. I also learned that I had the power to attract the exact clients that I really wanted to work with. So over the past 25 years plus, I've trained hundreds of doulas, and they have used their passion to impact new families and create financial abundance at the same time. They've continued to be open to mentoring to achieve results. And one of my favorite stories about this is my very first doula client years later started her own business, and she called me for advice, and we have been connecting on and off ever since. I've combined my wisdom, my business and personal experiences, and my own personal transformational journey into a course for those that are willing to look within themselves and be mentored and guided as they work with new families and guide them in their transition into parenthood. So please listen to this whole thing, kick back, get a cup of tea, cup of coffee, enjoy these tips, and you're going to hear an amazing offer in the end. And I hope that you'll think it's as amazing as I do. Okay, the first tip, learn to be a chameleon. What does that mean? You'll work with a variety of personalities and lifestyles. The faster you learn about your clients, the easier it will be to tend to their needs. You're going to encounter the list writer, the very neat, organized, and orderly mother. You're also going to encounter perhaps the frantic, anxious, hyper person. Who do you get to be in each of these situations? You will adapt to each of these clients. And that's what I meant by learn to be a chameleon. You've got to fit in with ease in every situation. Your local resources, your new best friend, I like to call them. You get to know where to refer your clients for what. This could be anything from a breastfeeding-friendly pediatrician to a home daycare. You may be the only source this new mother has for information. There are new mother groups, La Leche League, Mommy and Me classes. All of these you should know about and know the people personally, because these are people and places you would go for your own needs. Breastfeeding support is one of the biggest jobs you have. So besides taking classes and reading up and attending La Leche or another group, it's great to know a breastfeeding professional you can ask questions of. See if you're on the right track with a challenging situation. So be sure that you know who you're referring people to. Don't take things personally. Have you read this book, The Four Agreements? Oh, it's one of the best books I have ever read. This work can be challenging at times. You want to be the best doula and see that your clients are blooming and blossoming. So if you begin to take it to heart each time you witness what you might consider a poor choice, or if you become perhaps the scapegoat for something that didn't go right for your client's birth or with breastfeeding, and you start to internalize all that, guess what? You are headed for burnout. The best thing is if you can remain neutral and know that when you provide all the services and information within your scope and your agreement, you've done the best job possible. Don't take things personally. You will be headed for burnout quickly. There's me, pregnant for the second time. Little blurry picture, but there's a family blooming. So what about birth, and why do you need to know about the birth process if you're a postpartum doula? The birth is over. Well, pregnancy, labor, birth, and the postpartum period all encompass the childbearing year. It's a complete cycle. We really can't separate what comes after the birth. It's all connected. And what happens at birth affects the early parenting experience. How a woman's treated, interventions, how the baby's treated, any physical aftermath, any trauma. All of these things play a role in the next few months, which we call the fourth trimester or the postpartum period. So you want to learn all you can about birth, particularly in your geographic area, the local providers of places of birth, the classes that women and partners are enrolled in. Learn everything you can so you know when you step in what has gone on prior to you. Very important. Even if you don't take a birth doula class and become certified, please know about birth and your local community. Judge nobody. You've probably heard this, that doulas are non-judgmental. This goes without saying. Choices others make may not be the ones that you would make. When you can serve without judgment, you are meeting people where they are at. It doesn't mean you withhold information or not speak up if you feel mother or baby's safety is in question. You'll present all you know, and then ultimately choices are up to the family. You can provide the best care when you are not the judge. Listening is probably right up there with the resources, one of the best things you can do, and it really is a skill. Why do we have two ears? To listen more than we speak. It's about your client and not you. So you want to listen with an open heart, and you don't need to share everything that happened to you or to relate your birth story particularly. Now, when it's appropriate and it could help the situation, certainly go ahead and share something personal. It's more important for you to really listen and know what your role is with this mother and this family. You can hear what's going on and how you can be the best support for this family during this time of transition. You can practice this skill with your spouse or friends or kids, and really it does take a lot of practice to truly listen. Very important skill. All right, offer all the facts and theories. So you get information from a lot of different places. Sometimes you know something to be true. You see your client doing something opposite. Remember, it's not your job to change anybody's mind, but it's a disservice to withhold any information that could result in a different choice. One of your jobs is to present the facts, especially when somebody is really seeking an answer and isn't sure. So it's not really your opinion. But you want to take into consideration the person you're working with and their uniqueness and where they're getting all their information from. Offer what you know or things that you might see work in other instances, resources, and then you could feel really good no matter what the choice is. Maslow's hierarchy. Encourage rest and nutrition. This is key to recovery, especially if the birth was traumatic or wrought with intervention. Rest and nutrition heal. This is all within your scope, no matter who you've trained with or where. If you've not been trained yet, you want to work within your scope of non-medical support. And these two recommendations of encouraging rest and nutrition are certainly doable and necessary. The only advice I've ever really given is to sleep when the baby sleeps. My mother taught me that, and I tell everyone I work with, this is so important because sleep sets you up for success. And of course, you want to be nourished and nurtured. And that's your job when you're working with a new mom and family. I've mentioned boundaries a little bit already. This is so crucial to prevent burnout. Remember what I said, how I worked with everyone, went everywhere. I was always on. So you do want to be available and responsive, but does this mean that you answer calls 24/7? If you're a birth doula, yes. As a postpartum doula, no, you don't have to, and you can if you want to. You can be a part-time, flexible person that fills in the gaps with practical support and information. New mothers will be on their own somewhat, and maybe they have other people to rely on, friends and family. It takes a village, but you are not the entire village. If you're the sole source of support, you still have the choice to set your phone hours and your working hours. This is especially important if you are someone with young children. And that's going to lead me into my next tip and my next secret. Boundaries are important so that you can continue with doing this work. Be an example. You're encouraging rest and nutrition. Do the same for yourself. You're encouraging families to bond with their baby. Be sure not to leave your family out as you serve other families. If you're sharing about attachment, have a sling to use and show. If you're supporting with a toddler, show mom ways to incorporate him into the newborn scene. You want to be professional, yet warm and open. New mothers need you to show them it does get easier and they're not supposed to do it alone. And be sure that you take care of yourself as you are taking care of this new mother and family. Bonus, work yourself out of a job. That sounds weird. You might have heard it before. But yes, when you begin to work with a family, you want to think about all you get to do to end your services. Very different than most other jobs because you are actually a temporary person as a postpartum doula. You're like Mary Poppins, so you wouldn't be working till the kids are that big, but you want to fly in, do what you do, and fly out and move on. You'll have accomplished your mission whether or not you feel the family's on the path you think is right or good. If you've offered up all that information, you've set the example, you've talked about sleep, you've given them all the tips, you've been there to listen, there's not much more you can really do. So what you say and do could impact this family later, even if you're not seeing the fruits of your labor at the time of your service. So please be patient with yourself and with the family, and just know that if you follow these tips and you trust yourself, amazing things are going to happen for you and the families that you serve. Okay, so I have some questions for you. First of all, are you committed to yourself to expand and to grow? Secondly, are you willing and open to be mentored by someone, me, with 27 plus years of wisdom and experience? I'm really busting at the seams to share so much with you. Do you want to create or expand your income doing what you love? Well, I sure hope so. I have an amazing, crazy offer. I've got a course I developed. It's online. the main focus is the mentoring and accountability. There are lots of great modules for you to dig into, an extensive business module, goal setting, a good look inside of yourself for a lot of the answers you seek. Make me an offer price. Yeah, it's really insane because I know this course is worth way more than, well, way more than I'm offering for you right now. Okay, so are you willing to invest at least $250? More is certainly fine, up to $500, anywhere from $250 to $500. You make me an offer. What can you afford? Are you worth it? I think so. I know so. If you're ready to dig deep, to dive in, to be mentored, to get support with clients, email me. Or you can text me or call me. I like to chat. I'm old-fashioned. Literally talk on the phone. Whatever works for you. Go to my website if you really do want to learn more about me, who I am, and what I do. And I really want to learn about you and where you're at. So if you've liked these 10 tips and you're not where you want to be in your business and your doula practice, or if you're just getting started, I want to help you. Call me, text me for this amazing offer. I have 6 spots left in this course. You will not be sorry. What are you waiting for? Life is now. Enjoy your day, whatever else you're doing, and I'll talk to you soon.